Well, here's my code, and let's just walk through this. We won't run it on idle, we'll just walk through it. Initially, x is bound to 3, answer is bound to 0, and iter's left is bound to 3. The while loop says, test to see if this is equal to 0. Since it is not equal to 0, the test is true, and therefore, I take the current value of answer, the current value of x, add them together, and rebind that to answer. I then take iter's left, subtract 1 from it, and rebind that to iter's left. So I've decremented iter's left, and I've incremented answer. I go back up, and again, I check. Is that not equal to 0? It is not equal to 0. Therefore, I take answer, and I take x, I add them together, and I rebind those to be the new value of answer. I change iter's left by 1. That's my new value there. And again, I go back to the loop. That is not equal to 0. So the test is still true. So again, I take answer, I take x, add them together, create that to be my new binding for answer, which is 9. I take iter's left, subtract 1 from it. There's my new value of iter's left. And again, I go back up to the top of the loop. At this point, 0 being not equal to 0 is false. Terrible way of saying it, but that test is no longer true, it's false. In which case, I will skip to the end of this loop and print out that x times x, or if you like, 3 times 3 is equal to 9. Cool. A little slow, but it does what I want. Notice, I have reused this code an arbitrary number of times. And in fact, if I were to change x to be something else, I will reuse that piece of code a different number of times. There's my iteration that I really want. You can also see some properties of an iterative loop. First of all, we need to set an iteration variable outside of the loop. In this case, it's x and iter's left. And actually, the one I really care about here is iter's left. I also need to test that variable to determine when I'm done. There's the use of iter's left inside of the test. Now, it could be a simple test, it could be a more compound test, but that's basically what I need to test. And finally, I need to be changing that variable inside of the loop, right there. If I didn't, then that test value would never change, which means I would never stop the loop. But there's a property I need. When I set up an iterative loop, I need to say, what's the variable I'm setting outside? How am I testing it? And am I making sure to change it somehow inside of the loop in order to